me and you talked the other day, man. I think it's a lot going on in the world that people don't really pay attention to. I think we get so caught up on, pop culture and, Drake just dropped, which we'll talk about that a little bit later. And then you got, all the drama with politics. I really don't care to talk about politics and stuff like that for the most part because, it's all lies and, deceit in one way
It's
or
something
another.
you can't control.
Right.
So.
It's everything is based off of what's told and what's sold, not what it really is, right? Because half the time they don't know what's going on either. But it's stuff that's going on in the world that's affecting people. They don't even know it, right? And some of our kids know it because they on TikTok and they, stuff like that. But adults is at work and a lot of them don't know it. So we were talking about the data centers, right? And you was telling me about it's a town that's close to. Is it close to Reedsville?
Oh, there's a lot of places that's not far off the beaten path. But I was following Ansley Brown and Tim Ryan over in Coweta County.
Okay.
And they was actually over at Marie Farms in Noonan, Georgia, too. They're proposing this new. I think it's Georgia Power over in Noonan, Georgia. That's proposing a new line. Mm. It's like, and in Coweta County, it's Project Sail, but they want to put like an 832 acre data center. And I don't think people know enough about this. I was listening to this guy. He's an ag commissioner candidate. His name was Clayton Tucker, over in Bell County, and this is in Texas. He's got a friend of his, a rancher, that ever since the data center got put up, all his cattle have given stillbirths. There have been no calves born, and the only variable in this situation, between when the cows were given healthy births and given stillbirths consistently, was the data center. It was the only thing that changed, and I don't know. I just think that if we're having results like that are that drastic, like, it's not uncommon to think like, hey, if I put this close to people, are women going to start having miscarriages and stillbirths? I mean, I'm not saying they are, but I'm just saying if cows can go from giving healthy births to giving stillbirths all the time, I wouldn't want them near my young people, any people, period. And I don't.
Sounds like they need to be somewhere in the desert.
Georgia's known for its rural countryside. I don't think we should be destroying it just to put things on there. Tim Ryan highlighted another point about these warehouses, like that, as big as 50 football fields, and just been sitting vacant for 2 years. And they're just buying them so that they can go ahead and put their foot in the door, and they have them to rent out.
They want to rent them out, and nobody's renting them out yet. The people that they want to rent them out probably backed out of it, of just they just not renting them out.
Yeah, but I can only imagine the thousands of homes that could go on a place like that. We got 47,000 people moved to Georgia last year. That's just land that we cannot use now because it's owned by somebody who's just letting it sit and do whatever. It's just not the best use of it, in my opinion.
These companies, they got enough money to play the long game.
Yeah.
They don't make, like we make 90-day plans. They make 5-year plans, 10-year plans. Coming. So they play the long game because they can afford to do so.
I don't even think I realized how important data centers were to like.
Well, let me read out to people. I got the definition of a data center for people that don't know. So it says a data center is a physical facility that centralizes and organizations, IT operations, and equipment. Okay. So just to break it down a little bit more, it says it houses the servers, data storage drives, and network equipment required to store, process, and distribute digital data, acting as a fundamental infrastructure for the internet, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence. Right? So that's, anytime you saving anything in the cloud and you can open it up from this computer, that computer, the long as you log into
it's being pulled
cloud,
from one device to another because it's being stored somewhere that is consuming massive amounts of energy.
So it's holding on to, it's saving your information. It's saving information, basically.
They're using these flock cameras to collect your information in real time and store it too.
Yeah.
For various reasons, I'm sure. But the biggest problem with this is we go in and we cut down massive areas of rural countryside. They are crazy loud, just so loud. And the thermal pollution, the noise pollution that they produce is just, it's really, really irritating to a lot of the locals. Like, I mean, you're taking water they use massive amounts of water to cool it. And some data centers are like, oh, well, we keep our water in a closed loop cycle. But just like a radiator, you got to drain that.
Yeah.
And, the wastewater that you pour off of that has biocides in it that help it, with its thermal properties, making the water better to cool the servers. Because these massive computers, they have to be cooled so they don't overheat. And water displaces temperature 20 times quicker than air does. So it's just a more efficient medium to do so with. But they dump water that's way warmer than the river back into it, and that messes with the plant life, the animal life, the whole ecosystem. It disrupts it.
Yeah.
Aside from draining the water table.
Yeah, I'm reading right now where it says some of the community backlash. It says the massive resource footprint, water, electricity, and land use have sparked backlash, leading to the local pushbacks and occasional construction bans in certain communities. So some places they're saying, "No, you can't put that here." Now, I'm not sure if I was talking to you or somebody else, but I'm pretty sure I was talking to you because we was talking about the water that it uses, and in certain areas, some people are using that same well water, well water or whatever, and
wells
I'm sure
are
it's
going dry.
running dry. So when that happens, they don't just like one day you turn on your water and it ain't working. It's kind of like the pressure's not the same, right?
Yeah.
At first, and
I heard of people that their wells have completely gone dry, but I haven't seen.
So when that happens, like, what do they do? Like,
I would think that they would be responsible to bring in some kind of tank and freshwater supply for the family in order to prevent some kind of legal recourse. But there was a woman, I can't remember what county it was in. It was here in Georgia. She turned on her bath water to give her kid a bath one night, and the water coming out of here was like dark as Hennessy. Okay? All she did was take a video of it and post it on Facebook. They arrested her for it. For posting a video of how dirty the water was that she pays the city for. I didn't think that was like a real legitimate reason to be arresting the woman.
yeah, what was the charge?
But I think that that she was just making the city council look bad. Because a lot of the times what happens, like these big companies like Meta and other groups, I'm sorry, Facebook, they come in and they create shell companies. They don't want nobody knowing it's a Meta facility. So they create this LLC called Balloonist or something. And then they use that LLC to buy up land and tell the city council it's just a project. But when they tell the city council, they encourage them to do it behind closed doors. So the city council will approve it without having a public meeting and talking to anybody because it's just a harmless project. Then later on, you realize that there was some massive multi-billion-dollar corporation behind this. And now that you've allowed them in, you can't get them out. But I understand, like, especially from a government's point, but we're in a cyber war era. Everything's run by computers. If you want to control a country, you need AI. You need vast amounts of data, the ability to store it, the ability to move it, and the ability to sell it to the highest bidder. And the person who has the most data centers is going to be the guy who's swinging the biggest bat on the field. And America wants to be that. And I can't blame them in that regard, but no data center to me is worth the trees, the bees, and the waters. And you're going to lose all of those.
Yeah, and then, the weird thing is we all use the stuff that make those things necessary.
Oh, yeah, and I bet,
right?
we used to use search engines on Google, and it probably didn't use AI 10, 12 years ago, but now the vast amount of people who are using Google, the only way to keep up with it is to create a more competent and efficient system to deliver the data.
Yeah.
And that's where the data centers come in. I understand the necessity for them. I just don't think it's worth what they're costing us or costing our children of the future, because we're really just borrowing the land from our kids.
Yeah, and it just so much stuff that's affecting you long term that people don't care about, and it's other people that overly care about it. Like I was telling you about my daughter, you know, and she was like, "Dad, do you use ChatGPT?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I use it. I just got through using it a minute ago." She's like, "Oh my God, you're using up all our water." And I'm like, "What the hell is she talking about?" Like I'm like, I didn't even know she's even paying attention to this type of stuff, because she's just a kid. She's like, what, 12 years old?
Well, I would imagine Aaron Brockovich or any of these other people that are behind trying to spread any kind of information. And where you have good information, you're going to have disinformation as well. I imagine they're trying to put it out there on TikTok for the kids to see, because it's their world they're going to have to grow up and live in.
And I ain't tell her, but I was a little bit impressed that she knew about it, because most people, they ain't paying attention to, I wouldn't say most, well, no, most people, I mean, I'm pretty sure I can walk and talk to 10 people. They're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about?
They've heard about it, but to hear a kid actually care about it enough, care about what they heard
care
enough
about it
to
more
come to
than
you
we
and say,
do.
are you doing this?
Yeah.
Are you part of the problem?
Yeah.
You're using all of our water.
Yeah.
Like, that's somebody that's like concerned
concerned.
about what's going on. Not everybody that hears it's going to have a genuine concern.
Yeah, they're going to be like, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, it's just water. There's always the same
It's
amount
always
of water.
going to be water. Like,
that may be, but
the world is 80%, 75% water. Like, we're not
only
gonna run out of
1%
water.
of that is fresh water. Though.
Yeah.
That's the kicker.
Yeah.
Only 1% of that's fresh water. That's the extra icing on the cake that we don't realize. There's so much fresh water, but so little. We don't have enough to pollute.
Yeah.
We don't. We don't have enough fresh water to pollute. Water's the new gold. We will be competing for it. People will be buying vast tracts of land, not for the land, but for the water that's underneath it. Water's the new gold, man.
Yeah, I wonder who's recording how much water is underground. Who's keeping track of that? Because I'm sure
there are ways.
I'm sure people
know,
are keeping track.
And you just know what land has the best aquifers.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it might be recorded by, how much water pressure is in a certain area or whatever. I'm sure they got the LiDAR that can tell you what's under the trees.
Oh yeah, look at the cavities under there.
Yeah, what used to be, they can see the land print and see how, find the old pyramids and old land structures. So I'm sure that's something that they can stick underground that say, hey, it's this much water pressure right here. So it's got to be. Now, even before that, I think, where's this at? And is this somewhere in the Middle East where the people used to live underground?
Oh, yeah, in Turkey, the Deniku people in Turkey.
So if you look at that structure right underground, you can see where they got all the little caverns. They can see where they got their little worshiping place, their living place. And then
schools,
up under
granaries, a well at the bottom.
And then all the way down to the bottom, they stop right above where the water runs at, right? And then they got filters that go all the way back up to the top that circulates the air in and out.
You're talking about a complex, something that just had to have taken decades to build.
I'm talking about, and this, miles of it. Like, this ain't just one area. It's like they miles underground.
I'm so fascinated by what made people dig that deep into there. What was going on the surface?
So they still don't know, right? Because they trying to say, what was they running from? Was they running from dinosaurs or or whatever animal was chasing people to where they had to go underground to get away from them? Were they hiding from people through a religious war?
Yeah.
Or, obviously they was hiding from something.
Oh, yeah, trying to get away from something.
They was
trying to create a better life.
They was trying to put
themselves
somewhere to where we can't live up top. It's too much. It's stuff hunting us up there. Obviously, it had to be some type of danger up top to take you underground. Because even now, they got underground bunkers that's ready to go down there whenever stuff start to happen here.
Another thing that's crazy to me is like, I think a lot of these data centers might actually be a dual purpose. Not only do they store data, but if they use that much electricity, you have enough electricity to power an entire town.
Yeah.
If you were going to build something underground, a bunker or something, I would argue that I'd want a data center nearby. That way I had access to data, and I had access to all the electricity I could ever need
Yeah.
for whatever I got underground. I don't know if this is a thing. This is just me running off a rabbit hole here. But if I was in the business of putting some underground bunkers in, I would probably build data centers above them so you didn't have to pay for an electric bill. You could just let the people pay for it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to think like that to understand that.
Yeah, and you know the sad thing is with the way technology is moving forward, is not moving backwards. So with everything become more AI, it's gonna be more data centers, not less. And they don't never find a way to make things safer. They always try to find a loophole in order to get it done.
Yeah.
Right. So
Like there has
hopefully
to be
somebody gets smart enough to figure out a way to make it work without, after stuff get polluted past whatever we can use stuff for.
There's going to be a tipping point where, the point of no return where we can't come back from.
Yeah, hopefully it don't take that. But it's definitely going to be data centers because people are not going to say, hey, I want my phone to do less.
Yeah, well, I agree
or
with that.
my car to do less. They want it to do more. Hell, the cars is driving themselves now. Like, we won't even drive the car.
We know how cold space is. Like, Elon Musk had a wonderful proposal for, like, putting a data center in the sky, like in orbit, a satellite. If you're in an area that's negative 200 degrees, do you really need water to cool those servers?
Yeah. Well.
Or China wants to put their data centers under the ocean floor. Then you got all the water you want to cool it. I don't know how the pollution standard would be. Obviously, if you're using the ocean water, the only pollution there would be thermal pollution. You would have the need to put biocides into the water that's cooling the servers. But we already have a problem with ocean waters warming. Mm-hmm. You raise the temperature of the water by 1 degree and you kill off all the coral or something. Like, I would argue that would be a problem for the data centers. But they would arguably be better than cutting down the entire forest and just dumping stuff into the river and taking away vast tracts of rural countryside and rezoning it. That's a problem when people rezone something and then what was once a protected area or something gets rezoned as like, something that can be used for commercial buildings. Mm. And I don't know, I just don't think we should be rezoning our rural countryside. I think it's a big mistake.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'd rather the data centers be in the sky than be down here on the land.